for Road Traffic Victims Event. I want to extend my condolences to all of the families in our city who have lost loved ones to traffic violence. Today, we will make sure that they are not forgotten and that their legacies live on through us as we continue to work to make our streets safer. 334. That is the number of lives we've lost on Charlotte streets due to traffic violence from 2019 to 2023. This gathering of friends, family, and neighbors here today represents each of those very precious lives. So World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is a very high-profile event to remember the many millions who have been killed and seriously injured on the world's roads, and to acknowledge the suffering of all affected victims, families, and communities. Millions are added each year to countless millions already suffering, a truly tremendous cumulative toll. So World Day of Remembrance is commemorated on the third Sunday of November each year. And World Day's history began in the United Kingdom in 1993 when several churches held services in memory of road traffic victims. These events were coordinated by Road Peace, the United Kingdom's charity for road traffic victims, and an affiliated member of the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims. Since 1995, all organizations under the umbrella of the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims agreed to remember road victims worldwide on this day, the third Sunday of November. In 2005, the United Nations adopted World Day of Remembrance as the appropriate acknowledgement for victims of road traffic crashes and their families. Today, World Day is commemorated all across the continents, not only by those advocating for road safety and road victims, but also by governments and related stakeholders. So Families for Safe Streets first brought this event to the United States and has now joined with the Vision Zero Network, the Road to Zero Coalition, and It Could Be Me, to support those holding World Day of Remembrance events in their community. So in 2022, so last year, there were more than 60 events held across communities in the United States, and the interest is growing. These annual events are especially important because traffic deaths are on the rise dramatically in the U.S., far outpacing other high-income nations. And we have the opportunity to make real change with heightened commitment at the federal level, including more funds for safety, including Vision Zero. So across the globe, World Day of Remembrance efforts share the overarching goals to remember, support, and act. So remember those killed and seriously injured in crashes. Support those personally impacted. Act by advocating and implementing evidence-based actions to end this crisis on our roadways. Safe streets really do save lives. And today we are asking for you to help as we are focusing on our vulnerable road users. And we ask that you always be aware of your surroundings. And when you drive, do so without distraction or under the influence of substances. Drive for the conditions of the road and do not speed. And I cannot emphasize that enough, that speed kills. Take responsible actions and obey the speed limit. The City of Charlotte proclaimed Charlotte as a Vision Zero city in March 2019. And they reinforced this commitment through the adoption of their Strategic Mobility Plan in 2022. This plan aims to eliminate all traffic-related deaths and serious injuries while increasing the safety, health, and mobility for all. So the Charlotte Department of Transportation leads the implementation of the Vision Zero Action Plan, which is a data-driven approach to traffic safety that focuses on public dollars on areas that statistically create the most benefit. We work closely with our Vision Zero Task Force, the members and our partners, and we focus on education, enforcement, engineering projects like sidewalks, crosswalks, bike lanes, and better street lighting to make this vision a reality. Our Vision Zero Task Force has over 60 members, and thank you for those that are with us today. And those representatives come from the public health, the transportation, police, fire, and medic. We also have policymakers and community advocates. We could not do this important work alone, and really our streets are our responsibility. We lean on this collaborative opportunity to continue to make strides to reach 0 deaths due to traffic violence. And like I said, I sincerely want to thank our task force members, because they help us do this tremendous and important work. So today I would like to thank North Carolina Families for Safe Streets, Sustain Charlotte, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, Charlotte Communications and Marketing, and the dedicated emergency crews, police, and other medical professionals who deal daily with the traumatic aftermath of road crashes. We work hand in hand with CMPD as it comes to the important work we're doing in the city. So at this point in the program, I would like to introduce Detective Andrew Worthy to come up and share some thoughts. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, today we gather here to commemorate the World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims, an emotional occasion that compels us to reflect upon the devastating impact of road collisions on countless lives around the globe. This day serves as a stark reminder for lives lost, families shattered, and communities affected by road traffic incidents. The theme of this year's World Day of Remembrance is closely intertwined with a global initiative known as Vision Zero. Vision Zero is not merely a goal, it is a commitment to fundamentally alter our approach to road safety, striving for a world where no life is lost due to preventable road collisions. As we remember those who have lost their lives on the roads, we must also acknowledge the imperative for change. Vision Zero demands a paradigm shift in our attitude toward road safety. It calls for a holistic approach that incorporates better infrastructure, stringent regulations, enhanced public awareness, and the active involvement of all stakeholders. Each collision is a stark reminder that we must and can do better. We cannot accept road fatalities as an inevitable part of modern-day life. Every number is a statistic that represents a human life, a family torn apart, and a community forever changed. By observing this World Day of Remembrance and aligning ourselves with the principles of Vision Zero, we commit to creating safer roads for everyone. It is a pledge to work collectively towards a future where road collisions are not seen as a mere statistic, but a preventable tragedy that we can and will eliminate. Let us use this day as a catalyst for change. As we remember those who have lost, let us also envision a future where our roads are safe for all, where families can travel without fear, and where the World Day of Remembrance becomes a testament to our collective success in building a world with 0 road traffic victims. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Now I'd like to introduce Eric Zavril. He represents Sustain Charlotte, and we're so thankful for their partnership. Eric?
Thank you, Debbie. And good morning, everyone. And I want to start off by expressing my sincere condolences to all that have lost loved ones due to traffic violence on our streets. And before I start, I just want to share, this is a little personal connection with a neighbor we lost in Noda this last year in January. She was a young woman who loved the Noda neighborhood, and we lost her while she was biking in the Plaza neighborhood. So everybody, I'm sure, has been touched by this situation that we are here today for, remembering folks who've lost their lives. So as we gather to remember and honor our family members, our friends, and our neighbors who've lost their lives, we look for hope amidst the tragedies. At Sustain Charlotte, we mobilize residents to advocate for policy, funding, and the political will that is required to make our streets safer. We're proud to say that we've been working closely with the city since it started its Vision Zero Action Plan Task Force from the very beginning. It's been an honor to contribute to such an important initiative, and we're committed to doing our part to make our streets safer for everyone. In our conversations with Charlotte residents who support but are skeptical about whether the goal of 0 deaths and serious injuries is a feasible target, and we tell them that every life matters, and 0 is the only acceptable goal. It is common to hear that we have multiple priorities on our streets. However, the word priority was never meant to have a plural form. By definition, a priority is the thing that is the most important above all others. So again, as we did this time last year, we call on our city leaders, all residents of Charlotte, to make the priority for Charlotte streets to be safe, is safety, and not to prioritize speed or prioritize convenience, and not to reduce the traffic congestion. The only priority truly is safety. Finding traffic fatalities requires a comprehensive approach that includes education, personal responsibilities, fair and consistent enforcement of the traffic laws, and most importantly, streets designed for safety. As we educate and share, what Sustain Charlotte is to Charlotte residents, I always tell them that design is key. That is the most important piece of anything. You could have signs, you could have warnings, you could even have fines, but really, truly, the design of our city really is what will be fundamental to getting to Vision Zero. However, most of our history of our streets have been designed have not been designed with safety as its priority. We still face this tragic legacy of more than half a century of our street design that prioritizes speed and convenience of the drivers over safety and the lives of all people who use our streets. One way to enhance this design is clearly defining which transportation mode has priority on our streets. This clarity would help with our today's difficult decisions when changing our streets to make them safer. Most Charlotte streets are still designed to move as many cars as possible in the least amount of time rather than safely. So when crashes do occur, the results are too often fatal. The number of pedestrian deaths across the country is growing faster than the traffic fatalities overall, jumping more than 80% since 2009. Because most of Charlotte's road network was built during the golden age of automobiles, it is neither cheap nor politically easy to redesign our streets for safety for all who use them. But nevertheless, don't ever underestimate the power of our voice. As a community of advocates for safe streets, we have the power to tell our local, state leaders and our neighbors that these investments matter because the lives of our loved ones matter. Their lives matter more than speeding to your destination or running a red light or saving a few seconds or a minute at most. We have seen that when we stand together and ask for safer streets, change actually can happen. In fact, we've seen progress in making our streets safer and more equitable over the last few years. Charlotte's DOT has made numerous improvements, investments including infrastructure to reduce speeding, pedestrian crossing beacons, protected bike lanes, intersection improvements to reduce unsafe vehicle turning, and safer sidewalks and lighting, and a lot more. Last week, in fact, City Council approved increasing the fines to $100 for blocking transit, pedestrian, and bike infrastructure. We thank them for passing this common sense approach to making the city safer and look forward to making sure that that is working. And if it doesn't, then maybe we need to change course. But we always keep working, and there's so much more left to be done. We continue to advocate side by side for these needed changes. So we invite you today to join us at Sustain Charlotte and use your voice to become advocates for safer streets so that one day everyone can safely get to the places they need and want to go. Again, thank you so much for having me here to share these important words with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. You touched on just some critical, important work that we're doing together, so thank you for that. So it is at this point in our event that we would like to name the lost loved ones. So today and each day moving forward, we honor these precious lives and pledge to remember, support, and act. And the City of Charlotte is committed to creating safe streets and saving lives. And at this time, I would like to invite anyone in attendance who has lost a loved one due to traffic violence to come forward and speak your loved one's name, and then write their name on our memorial poster provided. And at that point, I'd like to then conclude the program after that. So please, would love to invite anyone up that would like to speak their loved one's name. Please. Thank you.
Hi. Our son that we lost last year was Billy Adkins. He died May the 17th last year in an automobile accident.
Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak a loved one's name? Thank you. Thank you.
It was my daughter, Briandra Newman, January the 5th, 2019.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak a loved one's name? All right. If not, that concludes our program for today, and I greatly appreciate your support today. Thank you.